Hi everybody, so I wanted to make a video for this English 101 online course, and this might not be your section, but I have two online courses, so I'm using the same video. I just wanted to touch base about a few things. The first being that this is an 8-week course, so it's half the time of a normal 16-week semester course. And we're moving kind of slow right now. So at the very beginning, I want you to know these, what I call soft skills. And this is in session 0. And this is where I'm finding out if you can access the ebook, if you know how to use MLA format, if you know how to use Microsoft Word. I give you the reading notes outline, which I ask you to use later. I ask that you get a 20 out of 20 on this. Like, it's a syllabus quiz, basically. But it's important that you know how I want things set up, how I want you to upload files, things like that. And then there's some other, using the Microsoft Waffle and Blackboard. Then I ask you to do this brevity assignment, just a little discussion board to get familiar with that. And then in task 2, what I really want to see is that you've uploaded correctly. Some of the problems I saw, I'll bring a few submissions up. A lot of it, you lost 5 points because you didn't change the font on your header to Times New Roman. So if you see this here, the font is obviously different. So whenever you double click on that or you go into the header, just make sure you put it in Times New Roman. The other thing people lost out for, they did not include this, which shows the hanging indentation. Jay here did include the hanging indentation on page 2, so he got credit for it. But some of you, if you lost 10 points, you got like 40 out of 50. It's because of those 2 reasons. That was the main thing people missed on task 2. Anyway, I ask you to do all that so I can see that you're on the right page. We're on the right page with MLA format and with Word. I have these modules set in an order, and it forces you to click on everything and go down through the modules. So, for instance, if you've been emailing and you've been like, oh, I can't get access to something, it's probably because you haven't clicked on this first session that says start here, and then you haven't started the video. So not only do you have to click on it, but you have to go into the video if there's a video or a link and click on it. So that sets up the marshmallow test. And so the marshmallow test is this like classic experiment where they give kids a marshmallow and say, can you delay gratification? Can you wait? I'll give you 2 marshmallows. If you wait, you get 1 now. If you go for instant gratification. On the surface, this is, seemingly like an innocuous or just normal little experiment. But if you think about the fact that sugar is addictive, right? Just like things, for instance, like drugs, alcohol, sex, cell phones, technology. So we have all these different addictions. And the experiment's really trying to figure out, can you tell at a young age that someone might be prone to instant gratification and thereby being prone to addiction? I don't know if you've ever heard, but alcoholism is sometimes called the gene, and they talk about it being a genetic thing. So-and-so has the gene, and their dad or mom had the gene. So there is like some evidence that like alcoholism might be genetic. And so the idea would be with this marshmallow test to figure out early if someone is predisposed to an addiction. For instance, in this case, like sugar addiction, like overeating, something like that. But you could extrapolate other things from this. And this is the kind of research done on human beings called live subjects. And so there's research you do in the library, research you do in a lab, like with chemicals and a white coat. You're mixing stuff up and making new drugs or making new flavors for Doritos or Fruit Loops, or that's lab work. And then there's this kind of research that we have an actual person. Live subject could also be a mouse or an animal, but it's the same thing. There's like ethics involved in researching on live people. And so in the 80s, whenever this research was done, 1.4, the authors of the researchers, published their findings in the journal Science. Okay, so you read a little bit of this article from Science, do your info check, your discussion. I had the wrong due date on that, so it was way too early, but it should have been today. Apologize for those of you that rushed to do that. But then you read 1.6 is what happened is people read the article in Science, it made waves, and people were like, oh, wouldn't that be amazing if we could identify this early? So the individuals wrote a book, The Marshmallow Test. You're going to read an excerpt from that, do info check 2. And then in 1.8, this is current. This individual, Celeste Kidd, looks back at the marshmallow test and is like, hey, I don't think it's everything it was cracked up to be. Like, I don't think we learned what we thought we learned. And so she's kind of critical of it from the today's standpoint, looking back. So you're going to read those 3 articles. You have these 2 activities, a discussion, then you're writing an essay. And that essay, the sources for that essay are those 3 articles, what you've just read. Okay, you're not finding any articles on your own. You're not doing any research beyond what the book has presented for you. So this is a 2-week module. I know we're trying to do this in 8 weeks, but this is a long module because at the beginning, on the onset, I want to make sure everybody goes through the motions and gets everything correct. And I want to give you time to get your feet under you. But after this 2-week module, we're going to really speed up, and we're going to do things week by week modules. So it'll be a 1-week module, and you'll have like high turnover of more assignments and more activities and things like that to be on top of. Okay, so I just wanted to touch base with you online folks. Email me with questions, look through the module, click on everything, make sure that you watch the videos maybe multiple times, especially if I'm showing you how to do something. I might go over it pretty quickly, so rewatch your videos. All right, I just want to show everybody that, like, I do have access to these analytics, so I can see who has started and when they started and what they've done, what they've looked at. I have analytics in terms of this, and then I have analytics in terms of like your time spent on Blackboard. Every time you log in, I get access to that information, and for how long you log in and whatnot. So, like for instance, on these assignments, I also get to see analytics on those, like student progress, like who's clicked on it, who hasn't, who's marked it complete and who hasn't, who started it, all that stuff. So I don't know if you noticed, you get these little circles out by the assignments and the activities. When you do one, it goes to black, half shaded black, and then you can click on it and click mark complete, and it'll go to green, meaning you've completed that. So that is like the progress tracker to help you keep straight what you're doing there. Anyway, those are just a few things. So I do look at that, and I do want to see engagement, interaction, that you're logging in, that you're doing the content, you're spending time working on the assignments. All right, everybody, have a good week. Let me know if you have questions.